Good afternoon from Macomb City Hall. This is Macomb Mayor Mike Inman. It's the 11th day of December, 2020. This is our most recent information that we have from the McDonough County Health Department and other sources regarding the current status of the COVID-19 pandemic here in Macomb and McDonough County. Now, this information was from late yesterday afternoon. There's a possibility that this is slightly out of date, but the numbers are fairly accurate, and I say that with the understanding that we may have a few more recovered cases and a handful more of confirmed cases, but this is the information as of late yesterday afternoon. A total of 1,744 confirmed cases in McDonough County. Of those, 87 are still active, which means a covered number of 1,609, and unfortunately, we're reporting an additional death, bringing that total number of deaths since the onset of the pandemic to 44. So again, our condolences to those family members that have been impacted in a very, very negative way in the loss of a loved one from COVID-19. Again, the overwhelming number of those cases are concentrated here in Macomb. Again, that would be understandable given the fact that we're the population center of the county. The highest age group, the highest age bracket is in the 20 to 29-year-old, with almost 575 of those total cases in that age group. And again, the overwhelming number of these cases are in the age group of folks under the age of 50. That just goes without saying. And there's a bit of a higher rate of women than men that have been infected by the COVID-19 pandemic. So some numbers that are trending a little bit in the right direction as it relates to both in the county and regionally. If you remember, metrics are what Governor Pritzker uses to make orders regarding mitigation efforts. So we're starting to finally see a downturn in those metrics, that we're getting very close to those numbers that would allow us to think about the possibility of relieving some of the mitigation, or at least the governor, I should say. Those orders come from Governor Pritzker. We're starting to see a downward trend both in the county and in the region. Our region extends from east to west over the central part of the state. It does not include our neighbors in Hancock or Adams County, but everyone else east of here over to the state line, and the Indiana state line, and then up in the Rock Island, Moline, Quad City area, and then across that tier of counties. So the metrics start calling for consecutive days of less than 12% positivity. We're getting close to that now. Today, the Illinois Department of Public Health is reporting that our region's at 11.8, so that time clock starts ticking now. There's some other metrics that play into that decision making by Governor Pritzker. They include the availability of all hospital beds and the availability of ICU beds. We're still trending a little bit below what we need to be at as far as the availability of ICU beds, so we're hoping that over the weekend we see some folks improve and will be released from those beds, and there won't be a demand to fill those beds back up. And then another metric is that we look at another available trending of downward number of reported cases, and we're starting to see that again, not only locally but in the region. So we're optimistic. My just for bringing all this up is that keep up the good work. So keep up wearing your mask, keep up social distancing, keep up your limited interactions with folks outside of your family unit, and looks like we're headed the right direction. So some encouraging bit of news to get those tier 3 mitigations that Governor Pritzker's ordered, getting some of those rolled back. Again, not here yet, but we've started that into that phase when we can start looking at doing that. So we'd also like to remind you that if you have recovered, again, we're looking at 1,600 plus recoveries here in McDonough County alone, to think about being a donor of convalescent plasma. So we'd ask you to reach out to the Mississippi Valley Regional Red Cross, Regional Blood Center. That information is located at the bottom of your screen now, and please consider giving them a call. That is one treatment process of many that are finally starting to take place here locally that would help folks that are, particularly those hospitalized. A transfusion with some convalescent plasma is a known curative process, and they're utilizing that here at MDH. So doesn't mean it's necessarily going to come directly back here, but if you donate it here, but it's going to allow the possibility for that to occur. there's a nationwide shortage of convalescent plasma. So if you're one of those 1,600 people in McDonough County, again, contact the Mississippi Valley Regional Blood Center for the possibility of donation. The McDonough District Hospital continues to have COVID testing available. Those dates and times are available, the days and times are available on your screen now. Again, that facility is located in the parking lot on the southeast corner of the MDH campus that's still being widely utilized. We're seeing good utilization of that. And of course, you can also make arrangements to test by appointment at the CVS pharmacy here in Macomb. Probably the most compelling news that we're hearing both locally, nationally, and worldwide is the availability of a vaccine to combat COVID-19. It's already been approved in the United Kingdom. It's already been approved in our neighbors to the north in Canada, and likely later today that it's to be approved by the Food and Drug Administration of the United States. Having said that, vaccination will roll out very quickly for certain groups that are at risk, particularly healthcare workers and those in long-term care facilities. But the real possibility of having a vaccine available for the general public is right around the corner. It won't be any time, likely this month, but right after the first of the year, both federal sources and folks from the Illinois Department of Public Health are indicating that even though the vaccine will initially be limited, there will be an opportunity sooner than later for you to be open to being vaccinated. So give that a process. Again, part of the reason I bring that up is that there has been ongoing planning from our local partners to make sure that that goes with as little disruption and as smoothly as possible. So when that time comes, when there's mass vaccinations available, our local partners are assuring us they have a plan. So we're looking forward to that and also being assured of that information from them. Also, we continue to promote events in the city that I've often been impacted by the mitigation efforts brought on by the COVID-19 pandemic. I would tell you that first of all, in just a few hours, the jolly old elf himself, St. Nicholas, will be here. Santa Claus will be here at Macomb City Hall on the terrace from 6 to 8 this evening, and we would encourage you to come. There'll be staff here to maintain social distancing. Everyone will be required to wear a mask, even Santa himself. However, I'm reporting from sources that are very reliable, both in the health department and nationally, that Santa himself is immune to COVID. So great. Young people don't need to worry about the possibility of Santa Claus not being able to do his job on Christmas Eve. There's every reliable information that that's not going to be an issue. But just to make sure, we want to make sure that everybody that meets with him near City Hall this weekend and next weekend, and that information, by the way, is on the Macomb Downtown Development website, Santa's Hours. But be assured, we'll take the necessary precautions that no one gets exposed to COVID here. If you're concerned about that, we can always encourage you to write a letter to him with your wishes, and there's a mailbox for that purpose right across the street from City Hall at Purdom Booker Gray Ingledew Insurance. But we are offering the opportunity to meet with Santa under COVID-compliant conditions here at City Hall, so be assured we're doing our best to make sure that you can get your wishes for this Christmas season to Santa Claus. Again, I would encourage you to continue to very strongly encourage you to abide by all the mitigation efforts that are in place, that have been in place for several weeks now by Governor Pritzker. They seem to be paying off. Again, wear your mask, social distance, wash your hands frequently. This is probably now the very, very most opportune time to make sure you got that all nailed down, because I can assure you, according to the data from the Department of Public Health, we're making some inroads. And then again, light at the end of the tunnel with a vaccine doesn't mean that tomorrow or next week or likely next month we'll be able to do without masks, but help is on the way in the form of this, likely on the way in the form of this vaccine. Again, at the time of this recording, the FDA had not yet released that for public vaccinations yet, but it was likely. So again, my words of encouragement. Again, it's a holiday season, and we know that many people are still struggling with this, both with their mental health and some physical limitations. So those that are in your sphere of influence that you can reach out to and do it safely in person to encourage them, make sure they're getting their personal and mental health needs taken care of during this time, please do that. Please think about your neighbors and those folks that are having an extremely difficult time getting through this, both physically and mentally. And then for yourself, take some time. This is a holiday season. This will normally be stressful anyway. The fact that we're dealing with COVID doesn't make it any less stressful. So take care of yourselves as well. So until we have a chance to meet again, thank you, and we'll talk again soon.